Good morning, all. Mr. and Mrs. Childers, thanks very much for being here. And to the rest of the management team, it's great to see you all again. Obviously, we're here to discuss the business case report that's been developed by myself to combat the key challenges that Home Services Far North Queensland is facing at the moment. Before I begin, I really want to just confirm that everyone has had a chance to read the business case. And if there are any questions in regards to that report, hopefully with this brief I'll be able to quickly answer them. However, if you do still have questions at the end, feel free to let me know and we'll work our way through it. So without further ado, I'll jump straight in. And so what we're going to discuss today is basically an outline of the report and the recommendations that I've found for, or that I've developed for Home Services Far North Queensland. And the key problems that I have focused on within this report are all based out of or around the Cairns team, and the key problems there being staff retention and turnover. The leadership and communication between the leadership group within the team and employees there. And then finally, anecdotally, evidence of a degradation of service quality and customer satisfaction. So in terms of the staff retention, we're all very well aware of the statistics around the staff retention issue within Cairns. Leading to a dissatisfaction among the longer-term employees there due to one being required to do overtime because of the vacancy concern, which then leads to obviously burnout, overwork, and a low morale within the team. Now, in terms of the leadership and communication issue, it was reported there, as we know, that the employee feedback loop is non-existent. So there's no confidence in the leadership group there providing accurate feedback to performance of the employees, as well as confidence in the leadership group there of actually conducting beneficial conflict resolution when problems arise. So there'll be a recommendation on how to resolve that a little later on. Finally, in terms of the degradation of service quality and customer satisfaction, it's as we know, it's anecdotal. There's no quantitative statistics on that. However, there is a possible link between the staff retention issue, vacancies within the Cairns team, and an increase in customer complaint and service degradation due to the non-consistent staffing that's within that Cairns region. Now, in terms of the background or the analysis of the report, I won't get into that here. Needless to say, I've used multiple frameworks based in change management theory, which nest quite well together. Those being the ADCAR change model, Cantor's change model, as well as the Lewin and Cotter models there, very famous. What I've done is taken the components of all four of those, plus a bit of appreciative inquiry, to try and meld a unique recommendation set for Home Services Far North Queensland. And so, without further ado, I'll jump on into the recommendations. Now, the recommendations I've developed are phased. So, I have immediate recommendations, which is about 0 to 3 months, intermediate or mid-phase recommendations, 3 to 6 months, and then finally long-term recommendations, which can be developed from 6 months out to about a year or 18 months. So I'll start off with the immediate actions that I believe are required. So as of now, employee engagement initiatives are highly necessary. We need to understand to the core, quantitatively, what issues are happening between the employees and the leadership group within that CANS team. Now, this can be done practically through a focus in team dynamics, communication quality, and obviously performance appraisal reporting. How can we do it? Surveys. So we've done one survey which was brought to light in the case study. However, regular surveys can be anonymous. Really ensure if there are any underlying issues, they are nubbed, or they are, nipped in the bud early. Obviously, these surveys need to come with an actionable plan, with targeted workshops for building that confidence. A feedback loop needs to be established between employees and the leadership group to understand workload concerns and to see if there's any adjustment in resource allocation that can be made between the Cairns region and other regions that are performing well, like Mareeba and Atherton. Moving on to midterm goals, leadership training for the leadership group in Cairns is a must. That can involve conflict resolution training. My recommendation is to bring in an independent alternate dispute resolution trainer to conduct targeted workshops within the Cairns group, particularly initially for the leaders, and then again for employees to provide them the understandings and their rights of what they should expect if conflict is raised within the team. Feedback delivery training as well is key, particularly around performance reporting and intra-team conflicts. So what does that look like? Formalised feedback protocols such as performance appraisal reporting, formal counselling performers, as well as how to communicate effectively when making or having those tough conversations. Finally, adaptive leadership training can prepare leaders to navigate and respond to changing staff circumstances. So obviously there's a staff shortage in Cairns and turnover is quite high, so how do we turn that around? We can provide flexible working arrangements. We can implement alternate scheduling outside of core business hours. We can conduct conferences or counselling remotely. There's multiple ways that we can work on that, and that is one of the key recommendations for the midterm goals. Now, as for long-term goals, this is mainly for, again, training good leaders. So a standardised training program. We need to ensure that there is a standardisation of training across all aspects of the organisation, whether it be in Mareeba, Atherton, Cairns, or wherever, so that people understand when they are being employed or they are putting their resume into Home Services Far North Queensland, they need to understand exactly what they're getting themselves in for. What does that look like? So from your frontline workers to your reception staff, even all the way up to your management, you need to make sure that there is a set guideline of quantitative outputs that needs to be met. Now, that's my recommendations done. Obviously, Home Services Far North Queensland has been a high quality provider for many years here, and at the moment it's lagging in one aspect. However, I am confident that we can build that team into a highly effective team within the next 12 months. Have you got any questions?